With centering today, I'm going to start off by putting the clay on. Now this is a wooden bat. I like to work on a bat. It's held on by a couple of pins and some clay. I'm going to put it on in the middle with a little bit of tude so it sticks. Now I want to make the clay go into the center. It's called centering. So I'm just going to push the clay up with this hand. And it's going to push it toward the center. And then as I push up, notice this hand is cutting the clay in half. I have as much clay on this side of my hand as that. And that's in the middle. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to, this hand pushes the clay down. Now this elbow is on my left leg. I'm right-handed and it just goes in the middle. And my right hand goes across and holds on. I like to hold on to that hand because I have my elbows on my legs and my hands are joined together. I call it the triangle of strength. And I'm going to push it up and push it down and push it up. And it's a dance between two hands because they're both aiming for the center, the middle. The clay has nowhere else to go but the center or the middle. This is in the middle, it pushes up. But as it pushes up, it's also supporting and pushing down a bit, just less than the hand is pushing up. And then you slowly transfer the pressure to pushing down. And the left hand is still supporting, just less pressure than the up one. And it's this dance between two pressures of up and down, and get some motion in your clay. And if you push in the middle and push in the middle, it has nowhere else to go but the middle. Now people like to cone when they're centering. I do some coning. I like to cone. Sometimes the clay just doesn't want to center, and then if you cone it, it seems to change its attitude a little bit. Coning is I'm just pushing my hands up. Now the pressure is between my two palms. I like to do them kind of opposite me. And this palm is pushing, you see they're dirty, they're pushing up that way, and I'm kind of pulling towards myself. So I'm going to push the heels of my hands in, support the top, and I don't cone. People like to cone big and tall. I don't. You do what you like. Anyway, and I'm just going to push it down. When I'm pushing it down to see in the center, and this clay is supporting in the center. So if all your pressures are in the middle, and you're pushing your clay toward the center, it has nowhere else to go but the middle. Okay, so now I want to open this up. I'm just going to, my right hand is going to go and open. My left hand's going to stay just where it was when it was centering. I'm just going to hold on to my hand, and I'm going to push it in that way, watching I don't go down too far. And when you're first starting, you might want to measure. You're going to go down about that far. More than a quarter, less than a half of an inch. And then I'm just going to pull my right hand to the palm of my left hand. And I'm going to just pull across. Slowly letting the wheel do its own thing. And you got to watch, because you have to work really hard, then it gets easier. Now you're all strong enough to take that whole thing right off into your palm, but you're all too smart. And so I've got it pulled over that way. I'm going to go in and tidy up the bottom a little bit. I've got a lump of clay in there and some water. Now I want to get my first pull. The first pull is you get a lot of height with this one, and you only do this one once. My left hand's going to stay where it was when I was centering. My right hand's, as it pulled across me at the bottom, then they're both going to go up that way. And so my left hand goes into the middle, my right hand hangs on, and we pull up. Make sure your clay is, when you're centering and throwing, always make sure your clay is soft or wet and slidey. So now I'm going to push in and pull up. And you see, just in that one pull, just in that one pull, you get a lot of height, and I didn't let the top get thin. So now you switch, your left hand goes on the inside, and now I'm pulling across the bottom. And at this point, my left hand is a little bit below my right hand because it's thicker down there. And as I pull up, I'm going to decrease the pressure, the walls to get thinner, and they come together at the top. Make sure it's slidey in there. So we're going to give it one more pull, maybe two. This is just throwing a cylinder, so we're not going to. So see, I grab a hold of that clay. Now sometimes some people, when they get to this stage, feel awkward with their hands, you can always just switch and cuddle it in and then finish pulling it, or you can continue with the pull. You're allowed to like what you like, do what feels best. I'm going to give it one more. And so I think that'll be enough just to describe the throwing of the cylinder, making sure it's smooth all the way around. And I'm just going to pull it up. Now, even though this is a cylinder that's going to get cut in half in about 2 minutes, I like a pot to come in and say I'm done. You see, it's got a little bit of an angle in toward it, and it's got some weight on the top, and it says I'm finished being a cylinder now. Pots have to have an end. And if I were keeping this, I would tidy it up a little bit more. I would give this top a little bit of definition and just make it say, I'm not your average cylinder. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to just cut that extra down. I allow the wheel to make many revolutions before I move down with the needle. I go down slowly and get that cut off. And I like that clay because it gives me somewhere to keep my needles and my sponge at the end. So just because I'm a potter, I have to get the water out of there, tidy it up. There's your basic cylinder. So let's cut that in half and see how I did. Now, if I were going to keep that, I would chamois the top and make it tidy, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to just cut it in half and up, and let's see how I did. That's not bad. You see how it's got the even walls. It's a little thicker on the bottom down here. I would trim that. I would trim that, and it would look like that when it was done. So there's your basic cylinder. From your cylinder, you go out to a bowl. A bowl is a short, fat cylinder. You can open it up into a vase. The cylinder is your foundation of every pot's a cylinder. A plate's a really short, fat one. Anyway, so if you enjoyed this workshop, please hit the like and subscribe. And thanks ever so much for watching.